Hey all, it's Alan here. Today we're going to cover the evaluative test part 3. And as you can recognize on screen here is the spreadsheet that we all know and love, Ingrid's notorious volunteer timesheet report. Why are we working with this? Because it's a real world example of something that someone like Ingrid worked with on a daily basis. So it doesn't get any more real than this. This is something that she works with every day. This time, you remember at the beginning of class we had you copy paste the constituent names in column A all the way down, and some of you got pretty far. You had used Control V and Control C and Control V to really good effect, but here we're actually going to show you how to do it the quickest and easiest way, the way I kind of demonstrated in our first class. Believe it or not, in the past 4 weeks you guys have learned pretty much everything that you need to know in order to do what I had showed you in that first class. In other words, being able to accomplish this task in really a matter of seconds instead of the hours that it would take someone that's untrained. So let's get started here, and there's only going to be one thing that you'll be learning new in this lesson, and that has to do with a very quick formula that we'll be showing you, and I'll point out when it comes. So let's start off with kind of the basics here. The goal of this exercise is what? Well, Ingrid's problem is that when she works with this data set, she wants the name Angelina A, for example, here to be copied all the way down next to, because each of these jobs are actually done by Angelina A, and the next set down would be Christina A example, and I'm using kind of the slow way of doing things. Again, all the way down here. Oops. Copy paste. This is kind of the way to do it. So that's what normal people would do, and they're not people that don't know what they're doing. They're just people that haven't been trained properly. But we're going to teach you the quick way to do this. Now remember, if you were to do this one by one, how long would this take? Well, just to give you a sense how long the spreadsheet is, I'm just going to page down all the way down. I don't need to look. I've looked at the spreadsheet plenty of times, but there's basically 9,000 rows, and this would take you all weekend if you were to do what we asked you to do. So let's go to the top here, which is how do we get there? Control home to get to the very top, and let's start over. How do I undo all the stuff that I've done right now? Control Z. So we're back to where we were before. First thing we want to do, first of all, if you wanted to, what if I were to tell you there is one formula that you can use and copy paste all the way down to the 9,000th row? How would we be able to do that? For example, if we copy pasted Angela A and page down all the way and we copy pasted, what happens? Well, everything gets really screwed up in a bad way. You've lost actually the most important part of this. And if you were to do this for Ingrid, she would probably say, well, great job, but you really did something bad there. So let's not do that. Control Z. There's got to be a way for us to keep the integrity of these names here, but still be able to use one formula. The trick is basically that when you look at a spreadsheet like this, you should remember that this spreadsheet is under your control. You can do whatever you want to the spreadsheet itself. For example, we can insert a column here. So let's do that. Alt-IC, insert a column. That way, whatever work we do in column A, even if we screw up, we'll still have all this data untouched. How do we do that? Well, we use formulas. We're going to need an if-then formula, which we taught you. So let's start with that. What's the first thing you press before when you do a formula? Equal. Equal if, open parentheses. You guys know the syntax. Now we're going to say, we're going to use something a little different here, which you haven't learned. It's called the is_text formula. What this does is it checks whether a reference is text or not. meaning is it a text versus a number versus a formula, etc. Open parentheses, right arrow to Angelina A, close parentheses. What is this saying? If B3 is text, that's a logical test, as you know. What comes next? Comma. Then return what? Return Angelina A because we like it. If it's not a text, then return what? Return whatever you got before. And you'll see in a minute why we're doing this. So A2, close parentheses. Enter. We're going to take this and we're going to copy paste it all the way down to the 9,000th row. Or to make it simple, we can just go to the very bottom of this spreadsheet. So you could actually press Shift, Control End to select everything. Oops, that didn't work. Copy paste it. I pressed Shift, hold down Shift and press End and the arrow down key, and it selects everything all the way down to the end of the row. You guys learned something a little different in Google Spreadsheets, which you can use as well. Control V. Which is taking a while because I'm running not only a webcam but also my spreadsheet. Anyways, it should work a lot faster on your computer because you don't have a webcam strapped to your head as I do now. Okay, so look at the results. Perfect, right? Every time Christina A comes up, it puts a Christina A right all the way down to where it ends. Janet A begins there, Gloria A begins there, etc. So, and we don't really need to, let's check the rest of the thing. Everything's looking pretty good. I'm paging up and paging down just to kind of check my work. Everything looks pretty good here. We don't have to check all 9,000 rows because it's one formula. But how do we move this data to where it belongs in this column? Simple enough. We can select this entire select this entire selection. So press Shift and arrow down, which selects it all. Control C to copy it. If I arrow to the right, it automatically takes me to B3. And you don't have to select the entire row here because Excel already knows to take this entire selection and move it one over. So how do we paste this? Well, Control V. But there's something wrong there. Let's wait for this computer to calculate. Okay, there's something wrong there. What happened? Well, you took a formula and you copy pasted it over one cell, and so that now it's taking column C and copying that, which is not what we wanted. Obviously we wanted the names in there. So Control Z. What's something that we learned that we can do where we're not copy pasting the formulas, but we're copy pasting the text? We learned edit paste special, so let's do that. Let's go to this selection. Make sure your column A, the data in column A is still selected. Go over to B3, and now instead of just pressing Control V, we're going to paste special, which is in which menu bar? It's in the edit bar. And if you have a different version of Excel, your toolbar up here may look a little different, but don't worry, the keystrokes are the same. So if you follow my instructions, you'll get it. It's Alt-E, S, which means paste special. And you see this window here, I'm going to move it over here. We're only going to paste what? The values, which is what? See that? V. So just press V. Press OK. That's still going to take a while. Okay, now look what's in our cells. It's all text. So we're pretty much done. All we have to do is get rid of this column. What did you learn in Google Spreadsheets? Well, I believe in Google Spreadsheets you press Alt-E-D and it still works for the column. So let's do that. Alt-D. Here we have to press the entire column, which is C. Press OK. And there we have it. We're done with our assignment. So try that at home. If you have a Mac, it may have some keystrokes that are different. I will send you a link to a place where you can see what kind of Oops, my camera's not working there. You can kind of see where what the keystrokes in an Apple are versus the PC. So good luck.